We have the clutch job. So this is a PSA. I'm going to flash it on the screen so you don't forget. Master cylinder for the clutch. Make sure you flush it. You should flush it for the brakes too, but this is very important. We see this so much. You see how goopy that is? That's after we put some fresh fluid in there just to see if we can get it to move, and it's shot. Pedal goes to the floor. Gotta flush that every 3 years. So I can't stress this enough. Change your oil. If you don't have the means to do it yourself, take it to someone you trust. But if you do have a small space, get our oil change kit and get yourself some race ramps and do it yourself. Your car will thank you for it. It'll last longer, perform better. You'll have a lot less issues in the future. The funnel is the easiest thing to put oil back in your car. The oil filter wrench and the cap wrench, like I explained, if you don't tighten the cap enough, it falls off and blows oil everywhere and falls behind the transmission. And this makes it easier to put it on and off. And of course, the OEM filter with a crush washer. We got these a few years ago, but we still use them in the shop. If the lift is tied up, we use these. These are much safer than jack stands. They're a good investment, whatever you're going to do with your car. They're lightweight. They're like a foam rubber. I mean, look how light that is. They're much safer than jack stands. You can bring the car up here nice and easy, bring it to this stop. It'll give you plenty of room to work, and you're not going to potentially drop the car on yourself. All right, so we're all good now. I'm just going to take it for a quick test drive. I figured I'd take you guys along for the ride. It does have an aftermarket shifter, which I don't like. What does that mean? I haven't seen that before. Is that an alarm? It feels a little bit too short, a little bit clicky. We did change the fluid just to make sure. I didn't do a rebuild on it because it has metal parts. I don't remember the company that makes it. Actually, I do know. I'm not going to say it because I don't like it. I've tried it on a couple of cars and I just didn't like it. Its clutch is very smooth. We did do a master cylinder. I think I showed you that. The master was just destroyed. But yeah, it feels good. It's just a little bit short transmission. Not a big fan of the short transmission. It does go through the gears smooth. I was afraid that because it was so hard to drive, he was forcing the transmission, and you can often bend the shift forks by doing that when you force the transmission. Not a big fan of grinding gears, so I always tell people if your clutch is going out, try not to drive it. Don't force it in gear. You will cause an issue. It came in with a check engine light. I'm going to double check that. I think George pulled the code. I'm going to see what that is. This suspension is really bouncy, by the way. I don't know if you can kind of tell the way the camera is bouncing. I think it's very low and there's not a lot of travel. It's probably got too stiff of a spring. It feels like the springs are 14K. It's really, really harsh. But the clutch is smooth. We'll go through the gears here in a second. Gotta be careful turning it because it has a really aggressive wheel and tire on it. And if you turn your wheel when you hit a bump, it's a good way of damaging the fenders. As you hear, it's just kind of scraping the mud flaps, just moving it around. So when you're turning, don't hit a bump. If you're going into a driveway, make sure your wheels are perfectly straight. That's the best advice I can give you. Because I just saw this happen yesterday. Front wheels, like I'm mentioning, when you go into a driveway, when your wheels are straight and the suspension is collapsing or actually compressing, the wheel is actually going up into this fender, which is where it's designed to go. This is the arc that it goes up as the wheel comes in. It comes on an arc, obviously, but it goes inside this fender. When your wheels are turned like this, you got to think where that tire is going to go. It's going to rub this fender right here. I just saw it yesterday. Somebody just went into a driveway at Taco Bell, and I think it was I don't know what it was, a Volkswagen or something, but it was a lower car, and he came in nice and slow, and then he cocked his wheels this way, and it went up, and I saw it hit the fender. I saw it pull out some of the inner panel, the fender, the inner fender well right there, but it bent his fender out. I don't know, that just crushed him. You know, it's like that feeling. It's like if you feel you curb the wheels, that feeling you get, it's like you can feel the vibration come through the car. I saw it happen. So when I'm talking about going into a driveway, Obviously, you're going in nice and slow. Imagine this is a driveway. You're not gonna come in straight. You're gonna go on a 45-degree angle, right? So you're gonna come in nice and slow, so it'll level itself out and not scrape. Make sure your wheels are pointing the direction you're going. Don't go in the driveway this way with the wheels pointed like this. This is the area I'm talking about. The wheel, if it turns, it's gonna come up into this fender. And again, it's just a PSA. I've seen it happen in our driveway, and our driveway is pretty gradual. But I just saw it yesterday on that guy with a Volkswagen. He doesn't watch our channel, obviously, because we're pretty much a Honda channel. But if you do, I saw that, and I didn't want to give you that look, but I kind of give you that cringe look, and you look back at me, and it's just horrible to see that. That's probably a few $100, maybe $1,000 to fix that and blend it, make it right for him. I'm sure he's absolutely gutted. Anyway, hopefully that gives you an idea what I'm talking about. Let's get back to the S2000 video. So many people bend their fenders from hitting a bump with the wheels turned. All right, so second, third, he is scraping, barely touching anything. See, that's why those old guys don't like really lowered cars anymore. That truck's pulling out. Yeah, totally saw that happening. This is inside the timing cover right here. You will often see, just as oil flows through here, any little ledges, the manufacturers do a pretty good job at making everything kind of smooth and round so the oil flows, but just something as simple as this little step here, you'll start to see oil build up like a black sludge. It's almost like a paste. It turns almost like a dirty grease. Same inside the heads, wherever you get a ledge where oil can flow, and basically as it splits up, you'll see these dark deposits build up. This is pretty good, and you see the heads are pretty smooth on this, so the oil does run off, but just right down to like little pockets like this, it will start to build up, and then eventually, you know, it gets worse and worse and worse. You've seen it where the head is just full of black sludge. Well, it starts obviously from infrequent oil changes right down to wear marks. These are the roller lifters right here. See, there's almost no marks at all. This is every 4,000 mile oil change right here, and everything looks just as clean as can be. Not only does it help prevent wearing things out, everything is good with the clutch. He wants us to do an oil change and valve cover gasket kit while it's here. You see there's a little bit of leaking around here. Could be the valve cover gasket. We'll see more once we get it off. But like I've told you so many times, change the oil is very, very important. Anybody notice something wrong down there? The reason I tell you to change the oil, so many things will happen if the oil is contaminated or even low. So if you have a car that burns a little bit of oil, you could essentially have low oil, which could affect the oil pressure. You could go around a corner. You could momentarily have drops of oil pressure that prematurely wears out the motor. I tell you this because I want your car to last, and I want you to be part of the S2000 community. Even if you're not an S2000 owner, you guys sitting at home that say and comment, hey, I like your videos. I don't even own an S2000, but I like your videos. This is to you too. I want your car to last. I'm a car guy. I want your car to be the best it can be. Even if you don't bring it to me, do it yourself. Change your oil. If you don't believe me, run it without oil for a couple of days and see how well that runs. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Oil is the most critical part of the engine, and unfortunately, it is always left to the last possible second to change it. Change your oil. It will run smoother. There is less friction in the motor. You get better gas mileage, better power, but there's also so many things that are trying to wear themselves out. The only thing stopping that is a layer of oil. Put the best oil in that you think and change it regular. Don't listen to the critics that tell you can run new oils for 10,000 miles, 20,000 miles, unless he is going to buy a new car when it wears out. Or he recommends he buys your car when you do those 20,000 mile changes. Change it often, change it frequent, use the best oil that you believe in and change it. I told you guys so many times about changing oil. This video is pretty much about changing your oil. We've built all of our parts that we use in the shop and we sell in the store. This is the oil filter wrench for the S2000. We've even made a wrench for the cap, because on the S2000, if you don't tighten the cap, which looks like this, enough, it falls behind the motor, then the engine sprays oil everywhere. And then if you do tighten it like you should, it's hard to get off. We've made this little cool wrench here. Makes life much easier. We even made the wrench for the Civic. All of the Civics that have a cap like this especially the Integra Type S and the Civic Type R, that is kind of down in the little valve cover area, and I've seen people scratch the covers, get it off. This cap is just tough to get off when you're dealing that hole. We made a wrench for that also. If you buy this oil change kit, we have a funnel. It doesn't say LHT Performance on the side. This is the one that we just put in our display cabinet. This makes life so much easier. Not only is it big enough that you're not going to spill your oil, it has air pocket designed in there, so it's not going to glug. Makes life much easier. I want changing your oil to be easier because I want you to change it. It's your car, but I want to treat your car like it's my car. Change your oil. Don't listen to the guy that tells you to run 10,000 miles on your oil change. Don't listen to him unless he's going to put a warranty on your motor. We have the S2000 filter. We do include a new crush washer because you should change that each time. And we also have the filter for the Civic, which is the little guy right here. Don't put this on your S2000. It will work, but it's not designed for your S2000. It doesn't have the same flow at higher RPMs as the S2000 filter. You see why it's bigger. You can also see why that filter is twice the price of this one. If someone is putting one of these filters on your S2000, don't go back. This one is like $8. This one is like 15. He's putting that on to save himself some money and charging you the same. Don't do it. Use this one for your S2000. That is the part number. That's the one that Honda want you to use. That's the one that I use. So when everybody else is putting their prices up, I'm going to put our oil change kit on sale. That's for the Civic and the S2000. We have plenty of them in stock, ready to ship. Change your oil, change it regular, and enjoy your cars.